Greetings, gentle viewers, and welcome once again to the vast and ominous comic book vault. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Vince, today we're going to be talking about a book from the vault, Buffy the Origin, from 1999. This was the book that was released to be closer to Joss Whedon's original script for the Buffy movie, that's supposed to feel a little bit more like the canon of the TV show.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing is, you watch the TV show, and it acknowledges that something at least like the movie happened, so it's nice to have something that's supposedly in the same universe.
Right, and it's obvious watching the pilot for the series that it's not exactly keeping up with what happened in the movie, but, you know, what exactly happened in the movie, right? I mean,
when you break it down, it's, there's a creepy guy that comes into a cheerleader's life and says, "Hey, you have superpowers," and she says, "Leave me alone, you're creepy." And then she's like, "Well, vampires are attacking me, maybe I should get trained." And then she finds a faithful companion known as Pike, otherwise known as another creepy guy that she seems to fall in with. And then vampires attack the high school and they win. So it's both the comic book and the movie have that same bare bones plot. Like, that's exactly what it is in a nutshell.
I found the comic to be somewhat unmemorable. It's not different enough from the movie to me to be like that big of a deal.
You know, I feel like if you hadn't seen the movie, this might have some impact on you. But if you have seen the movie, and personally, I like the movie. I'll say that up front.
I like a lot of things about it. I don't think it's nearly as unwatchable as everybody says that it is.
Yeah, I mean, people say it's bad, but you know, I guess we're not talking about the movie. We're talking about the comic book. But
right.
What this really is just concisely saying what the movie is and changing certain things that are sort of stylistic, I would say.
I think so, too. I think the tones did a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the vampire designs, in the movie, it's just a guy with pointy ears, pale skin, and teeth. In this one, they have green skin, and they're freakish monsters.
One thing that bugged me about the vampires in this is they're making a big deal out of this going with the series all the way to the point of having a little scene with the main characters from the series at the end of it, and yet they make their vampires look different? What's that about? How are these supposed to be the same kind? I mean, is it just that they're older so they look like that? I didn't really get that sense because wasn't there a new vampire that got turned and then he looked like that too?
You know, even the Master, is that the character's name?
That's the character in the show. That it's not the same Master?
No. I think the Master in the show, he looked a little different than the other vampires, but he still looked
older.
essentially like the other vampires.
Yeah. He was just more bat-like.
Yeah.
But in this, they're green, and they've got these bright red eyes.
You know, sometimes
right?
I think...
Aren't they bright red eyes?
Yeah. Sometimes I think that they're even a little... I mean, granted, they do look bat-like, but they look really creaturey as opposed to... I mean, granted, sometimes I think that these people get a little obsessed with we don't have a budget. It's neither film nor television. It's not limited. We can make these people look like whatever we want them to.
That's true, but then I wonder, why are we trying so hard to make certain things mesh and other things not? Like, okay, so this seems to be just, it's almost the same thing except Buffy looks like Sarah Michelle Gellar now and not the other actress. It's like so we've got her face in this,
by the by.
Right? But we've got her face in this, but then the vampires look different. What's the point of that?
You know, by the by, interestingly enough, I think they made Buffy look a lot like Sarah Michelle Gellar without sacrificing making a character look the way the character needs to, you know, emote the way the character needs to emote in the comic book.
I think the art is solid all the way through.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think that's actually the selling point to this.
I mean, ignoring the fact that there are visual differences, like extremely noticeable differences between this and the thing that it claims to be connected to, the art is still very pretty. And it looks like Sarah Michelle Gellar in the ways that it needs to, without making it obnoxious. I mean, does that make sense to where it's not photorealistic every time? Yeah,
and I like what you said before we started recording, that this is probably... You probably ought to read this if you don't want to watch the movie. Yeah. And you're a big Buffy fan, and you mentioned that you mentioned that the pacing was better.
This thing, it's very streamlined. It's from beginning to end. It's this happens, this happens, this happens, and it doesn't waste any time. So, and that I can appreciate. I mean, if you don't like the movie and you want to get through it, this is what it is. And this changes the humor a little bit. I think you mentioned that before we started shooting.
Right.
I was so used to the TV show Buffy, when I started reading this, it didn't even occur to me that the humor was different in the movie.
I wonder if, and again, you know, I don't know if Whedon's original script is available, so I haven't read it, but I wonder if part of the problem with this, and by the way, Whedon went on record to say that he didn't love this. I I kind of wonder if part of the problem wasn't just that even in his original script, the supporting cast is not anything like as memorable as his supporting cast from the show.
The thing about Pike is he's almost the exact same as he is in the movie. He's just a guy that falls in with Buffy, and he's from the wrong side of the tracks, and he doesn't...
And even Merrick seems a little bit generic to me.
I think I have to come down on it saying I don't understand why people have a problem with the movie, or as much of a problem with the movie, and I don't understand why this is supposed to be any real difference
so
from
much
the
different,
movie.
yeah.
It's quite a bit the same.
Vince, let's go ahead and go to a trivia question. Last time, the trivia question was name 3 red characters in comic books, and characters who have red in their titles, besides Justin Cristelli's Red Knight. And the correct answer, well, there's lots of them, because there's lots of different red characters.
There are only 3, and you have to get them right.
CC Scorsese Videos got it right first. He said Red Sonja, Red Robin, and Red Arrow. I was surprised to see Red Sonja in there.
Yeah, me too.
That was kind of cool. There was one person who got right, who said something before that, but he threw Red Lanterns in there, which is a team and not a character, so I couldn't count it.
Aww.
Vince, what is the question for today?
The question for today is, what Dark Horse comic book series from 2001 featured a futuristic Slayer in the Buffyverse?
That's the question. Put your answer in the comments below. If you get it right first, I will be sure to mention you in the next episode of the Comic Book Vault. Remember that the Comic Book Vault can be both donated to and you can also buy things from. And if there's really awesome things you have that you don't want to donate but you're thinking about selling, also feel free to send us a personal message and we may or may not be interested in it, depending on what it is. I'm building a Galactus collection, so if you have Galactus things you're trying to get rid of, I may be interested. Anyway, be sure to check out our stuff on eBay. Look at wearegeeksnotnerds.com, click on the Comic Vault, and you can see our eBay ads, and you can also send the stuff to our P.O. Box at Geekvolution. P.O. Box 14183, Lenexa, Kansas 66285. Thanks a lot for joining us at the Comic Book Vault. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And happy reading.